Wenn allein regiert das Schwert und die ganze Welt zerfällt in toten Sand. Aber das wird nicht geschehen, denn wir wollen nicht untergehen. Und so rufen wir durch unser deutsches Land. Go home, Ami, Ami, go home. Spalte für den Frieden dein Atom. Sag du bei dem Vater rein, rühr nicht an sein Töchterlein. Lorelei, solange du singst, wird Deutschland sein. USA sind für die Etappe da. Wollen die German Boys verrecken in dem Sand. Doch sind hier die Waffen kalt, doch der Friede wird nicht bald. Hält nicht jeder schützend über ihn die Hand. Go home, Ami, Ami, go home. Spalte für den Frieden dein Atom. Sag uns bei der Vater rein, rühr nicht an sein Töchterlein. Lorelei, solange du singst, wird Deutschland sein. Sitzt und kämmt ihr goldenes Haar. Wer den Kamm hier bricht in zwei, bricht sich selbst das Knick dabei. Uralt ist das Märchen, traurig, aber wahr. Go home, Ami, Ami, go home. Lass in Ruhe den deutschen Strom. Denn für deinen Way of Life kriegst du uns ja doch nicht rein. Grüß von euch, entkommen bis hier, der Kamm bleibt hier.
All right, sorry for the dead air there. All right, so I think there's a lot of the Facebook sort of stuff going on with like, we need more censorship, censorship me please daddy sort of attitude that's been going on. The fact is that this whistleblower, it has been found. The Facebook whistleblower, quote unquote, has connections to a PR firm, I believe. Has worked with AOC as well. The thing is that blame Facebook as much as you want to. I mean, the thing is, what I know what people are going to say, but look at what happened with the Rohingya people in Myanmar, what was Burma. Or what happened with, January 6th, it was organized on Twitter. I mean, excuse me. Yeah, it probably was it was organized on Facebook. And it's just, to me, I think it's ridiculousness. More internet censorship, more, just folks going to these, rando sites. It's just going to go back to the days of like just random like chat rooms and shit, Yeah, first whistleblower that got loved by Twitter and the media. Exactly. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I think that the whole whistleblower, quote unquote, whistleblower type shit is bullshit. It's nonsense. I was going to just say bullshit, but yeah. I was like, it's a little too much. But I think that it's just nonsense to see, man. It's absolute nonsense to see this type of shit where it's just like, yeah, I mean, Facebook needs to be taken down a peg. It's just like, who the fuck goes on Facebook? I mean, if you're under the age, I would say if you're under the age of like 40, how many people are really on Facebook? I mean, the joke of it is that, you just went there to pay attention to your high school crushes and shit like that. And that's really true. I mean, that's why I was on Facebook for a while, but I locked my, I got my account locked. So, yeah. Ironically, I do have one of my late cats as a picture in Open Borders for Israel. So there you go. I was just getting far too political. I think by that point, by about maybe 2013 or so, maybe 2014. So I realized I shouldn't be on Twitter. Or excuse me, I should be on Twitter probably and be more anonymous than on Facebook. It's a lot easier. I mean, to me, the whole Facebook shit, to me, it's just silly. I mean, in my opinion anyway, it's silly to be on Facebook. Because it's like nobody should give a shit about Facebook. And it's like, yeah, it was an accomplishment what they did. Ooh, I guess. But it's like now, who cares? It's just like, okay, whoop-de shit on Facebook. It's just like, all right, good for you. What are you going to do now? It's just like, Facebook, was one of the first ones. But yeah, boomers on Facebook tend to be fed posty lol. Yeah. It's funny they give no fucks. Oh, yeah, absolutely. It is funny. I don't know. I think that, people are really sparking out about internet censorship. But it's like, to me, you can set up, internet style type shit anywhere. You could just go back to the days of, like ham radio. I know that that's a big thing. That was a big meme for a while on Twitter. I remember is that, people would be like, yeah, I've got ham radio, bro. It's just like, just do that. Just shit post on there, Who gives a fuck about, internet and everything else? I mean, let whoever else, go outside more, I guess. It's just like, just do that, Just go outside, bro. Right? Just go outside, bro. It's not that big of a thing. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people, I think, are questioning this Facebook whistleblower, thinking that this person, whatever her name is, like Hauber or something like that. Do you really think that they're going to change It's like, do you think that they are, that this person is really an insider? No, absolutely not. It's bullshit. On to the next topic, though, even though this is the title of the video, but as you know, I talk about other things in addition to. I saw that there was a shooter down in, what was it? Texas shooter. Hold on, let me see here. Where was it at? Shooter. Texas shooter. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, Arlington. Yeah, this was down in Arlington. And this was done basically because of some argument, some beef that was going on in a classroom. And it turned out it was a black dude. It was a black dude that did it. And they found the video of the kid getting his ass whooped. And it was just like, yeah, 4 got injured, that's all. Exactly, yeah, Simpkins. Exactly, that's his name, Simpkins. And it's just like, we saw this dude get beat up. And because of it, I guess he had a gun and started shooting. Yeah, like I said, 4 injured, but nobody was killed. They later caught him. And, there are all sorts of... There's one particular person who's like, this is the first black shooter in the United States. I'm like, what? And, of course, the person that did that turned off their replies. And I'm just like, bruh, that is funny. That is... It's like, are you really going to... talk about bait. But that is freaking bait. To be like, oh, yeah, God damn. Oh, it's hilarious, though. I mean, it's just hilarious and sad to see all this. It's like, oh, wow. But it's like, oh, they sure did put up his face fast and all this. It's just like, because of racism. It's so pitiful. It's so pitiful. Yeah, regular hood shit, to be honest. It really is. It really is. Even though, I mean, I'm trying to think of it now. I want to say, let's see, this is 48 minutes ago. It's not too bad. But I think it's Arlington though, which Arlington normally is kind of a nicer area of Dallas, you know. But yeah, Simpkins, that's hilarious. So that kid's name is Simpkins. Oh man, I mean, it's just ridiculous. Like I say, I mean, everyone was worried about it. I remember my mom mentioned it because she happened to have the news on, and it's just like, once we found out it was a black dude, and then of course we found out all this other stuff. You're just like, oh my goodness, you know. Like I say, that we're gonna see what's gonna happen with this infrastructure bill. We're gonna see what happens with this. I will be having fights on all of the kind of shit. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I've seen a little bit more discourse about, I think it's every couple of months it comes back like this, they just repackage it slightly, but the whole balkanization and national divorce talk, which we kind of talked about in the last stream a little bit, but I think it's just unrealistic. I think a lot of folks just feel upset because of what is occurring under Biden. But yeah, what's going on, American Dissident? How are you doing? But I think that there's, I think a lot of people just want to redeem the system. They do. They want to redeem the system as much as they can. They want to redeem the United States as this entity that's had its problems, but ultimately can be made better. And to me, I'm doing pretty well. I had there was a squirrel that got into the house, and we have two cats in the house. So the two cats were chasing him, and no, they didn't kill it. I was able to get it outside, but yeah, that was fun. Where was I going with this? But yeah, a lot of people want to try to, promote this whole, separatist issue and this secessionist view, and I've promoted that on numerous videos in the past. I think the future dissident systems will be like Omerta. Yeah, could be. What are my thoughts going on with the economy? I think it's just, I'm going to take a lib point of view here, but yeah, we need to raise the debt ceiling. I will be honest with you in terms of that. I think the whole issue of the debt ceiling is that, now the Republicans are going to apparently do a temporary measure to raise it. But the thing is, I think it's, it's basically just like Jenga in my view of it. I mean, by the time you get into like trillions and gugillions and all that amount of money, it's kind of unfathomable the levels of debt that we have. But I think that's, unfortunately, the system that we are under. People will give in. The Republicans will give in, and they will bend the knee and say, yeah, okay, let's go ahead and do it. Let's go ahead and raise the debt ceiling. They'll give in. They will. It's just going to take time, but they will. They'll give in. I think that it just goes to show how the U.S. is just kind of limping along. And there's a lot of genuine dissent out there, I think. There really is. But I think a lot of people, are kind of, they don't want to lose their house. They don't want to lose whatever little bit they have. That's obvious. Like I say, I'm sure that, this is not 1917 Russia. This is not, 1930s Germany. People make those comparisons. But it's not the same exact thing, because ultimately people still have their ways of making money, and it's a more, I was going to say independent, but it's also more centralized as well. Like I say, it's independent while being centralized at the same time, centralized banking in particular, as it's been since post-World War II, has made things a lot harder for people, And it's very easy, like I say, for any dissident, where it's like, if you say the wrong things, or if you get outed on Twitter or wherever, you lose that Patreon, you lose that whatever, and you can no longer get money from these areas. We've seen this even with Fuentes, right? Influencer warlordism. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh man, yeah. I mean, I'm down here in Texas, so it'll probably be like cartel warlordism. I don't know which one. Probably be El Chapo's warlords. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just think both sides are just kind of tired out, in my opinion. I think both the left and the right are just kind of tired out. I think that they're just kind of they're lashing out at their own side, generally speaking. Yeah. Omerta is pretty much gangs, and those gangs serving undeserved communities and keeping quiet. Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know I've heard the phrase Omerta before, but yeah. I definitely think that's what the case is going to be. Especially down here in the South. I mean, I'm down here in Texas. I mean, I personally think Texas will not stay as one thing. I personally don't. I know I've said this before. But northern Texas, like, the Panhandle and where I live, going into Oklahoma, is different than Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, Houston, even El Paso. There's a big difference. I personally think that I just don't see how Texas could remain one thing. People can talk about it, but I think that, like I say, if you've lived here for any length of time, and you've at least been somewhat to other parts of the state, it's a whole different thing. You can't say that Houston, if you went to Houston and lived there for a little bit of time, is going to be the same thing as, like, obviously from like a place like, say, Vernon, Texas, or Iowa Park, Texas. You're like, those are two completely different places. You know what I mean? But anywho, I know I've talked about that before. Y'all can find you can dig through the literally thousands of videos that I've produced. So, which, varying quality. But, going back to the Facebook thing, I think that we're going to see more censorship. We're going to see more folks, getting arrested and all this sort of thing. I've heard that they're going to try to do like basically they're going to look for keywords that you've typed up, and anyone that types in those words are going to be put in jail. Yeah. I've lived here my whole life minus a few years, never been to North Texas. Oh, okay. You're talking like DFW, that sort of area, Temujin? Like I say, I'm not gonna out you. Like, because I know DFW, that's a whole thing in and of itself, right? Like, whether it's Arlington, whether it's, I think, or Flower Mound, that's it, yeah, Flower Mound, or Birdville, or I'm trying to think of the other ones, like Paris, Texas. I think that's within DFW, isn't it? It's a large area, a lot of little places in there. Grapevine, that's Fort Worth. Oh, South Texas. Okay, that's cool then. That's cool. Yeah. Like I say, I mean, I think that South Texas there's the north-south divide. There's the east-west divide in Texas as well. Although roughly, I was thinking about this, but I think the east-west divide can be simplified as this: East Texas is seen as like places like El Paso and places like Marfa. I guess I'm trying to think of Marfa is like a small little nothing, basically. It's like if you've never been to Texas, you wouldn't know. I'm trying to think of the other town. Oh, my memory fails me. But basically, it used to be a United States Army Air Corps, U.S. Army Air Force base, way out in East Texas. And that's basically East Texas. A lot of that is desert and, very dry. Or West Texas. I'm sorry. Yeah, West Texas is more dry. East Texas, Texarkana, places like that are near to, like Arkansas. A lot of a lot of woods, a lot of this in Missouri as well. You know, but since we kind of just barely touched Missouri, there's a lot of areas like that. I'm trying to pronounce it correctly. You know, you could say, you know, Missouri, but yeah, Missouri is a way. Yeah, Missouri, whichever. You know, so there's differences there. You know, in terms of how people feel about things. Like I say, you know, like I say, I mean, if you just want to say more Mexicans or whichever, yeah, Hispanos are throughout Texas. I mean, yeah, this is called Texas, Tejas, friendly. You know, at least that's what we were taught in school. But I think that there is a difference there. You know, like I say, I mean, it's kind of like that joke from King of the Hill, right? That you did in the video when talking about the different regions of Texas. You know, it's just like, you know, North Texas, more like Southern Oklahoma. You know, because they're like, you know, it's like Arlen, Texas stinks, and Wichita Falls, Texas rules. And you know why? It's because within 5 minutes I can be in the great state of Oklahoma. You know, and they talk about Sooners and all that. I'm sorry, but yeah, I mean, when you go through Oklahoma, I mean, if we're gonna shit talk, let's go ahead and shit talk. We can shit talk Texas and say, oh, Texas is full of shit kickers and, you know, and all that sort of thing. You'll meet folks like that. Don't get me wrong, you will. But Oklahoma, I'm sorry. Apart from, like, you know, the casinos, which are owned by the tribes like the Comanches or the Kiowa, Oklahoma's a sad state. It just is. And I know if Hello 99 was in this chat, he'd tell me about it. But, you know, it's like, you go through a lot in Oklahoma. It's a sad place, man. It's a sad place. And like I say, they have neatened up areas of Lawton, Oklahoma. Don't get me wrong. I'll be polite. Been through a lot in Oklahoma plenty of times. But in general, when you go through there, every road leading to Fort Sill, pawn shop. And there used to be one, and I've said this over and over because I'm an old man, so just bear with me, but, you know, a place called Shady Sam's. I still don't see, even if you're a soldier, why would you go to a place like Shady Sam's? I don't know. But yeah, there are plenty of rough spots there. But yeah, I think northern parts of Texas, to me, yeah, it's in poverty. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I think there's a difference. I heard about, yeah, a lot of how shit Oregon is. Oh, yeah. Yeah, laws in Oregon, not great, et cetera, you know. But yeah, I feel like there's a different culture in general. You know, it's not to say, you know, you couldn't have, you know, some cowboy type stuff and that sort of feeling, you know, further south. Obviously you could, but I think that there's more progressiveness. There's a lot more energy and everything else. There's a lot more commerce, if you will, through Dallas, Fort Worth than you do up north, in my opinion. You know, and I say that, you know, it's like when you, for those that know, you go on the road to Grapevine Mills. You used to take the back way. Flat places are depressing. Scenery helps you up. Oh, sorry. Ooh. Oh, okay. As I was saying, on the road to Grapevine Mills, for those that remember, you go on the road there, and if you're on the road, you can go past the Texas Motor Speedway. For a long time, there was nothing. There was nothing on that road. It was pretty much just open grassland. And you go under there, you got like the warehouses there that hardly anyone ever went. And a little bit further up, you had that little Subway and a gas station. Like I say, real Texans, or at least, you know, folks like me have known that, going to Grapevine Mills to get like some clothes and whatnot at the JCPenney 5-star that used to be there. I'm getting real boomer, but here we go. I'm going into it. I'm already here. So, anywho, used to be nothing there. Now you got, let's see here, at least 3 or 4 restaurants that I can think of. You know, you obviously still have the Motor Speedway there, which has a hotel, if I'm thinking right. There's still there's a hotel at the Texas Motor Speedway that you can stay at. But across the way, you also have Buc-ee's. I had, like I say, I had hardly ever heard. I think that I went to a Buc-ee's, if I'm thinking right, when I was traveling with my dad through New Mexico, if I'm thinking right. But there's a Buc-ee's right there, right across the way. If you've never been to a Buc-ee's, it's a whole other experience. It's like it's like a wall. It's basically like a gas station had sex with a Walmart, and that's how you get it. Basically, you'll have like 30 bathrooms. You'll have like row after row of stuff. You'll have like the gift shop, of course. You can make, they'll make pretty much most anything for you. I think Texas should stay as one thing for that very reason. If there was a national divorce, the neighboring states would want to benefit from the commerce of Texas ports received. Yeah. Texas should stay as one thing, and some states might join for the commerce Texas has alone. Oh, absolutely. I think that, but yeah, basically, you can get anything you want. I mean, Buc-ee's obviously was a big thing. Yeah. Selling boats out of a gas station. Oh, yeah. That too, Temujin. Thank you for reminding me, though. But yeah, Buc-ee's is one of those big things. Like, if you've never been there, you can't really, it's hard to describe. But it's a big old place, and it's, it's just one of those places where people meet up, like classic cars and stuff like that. Obviously, like I say, right across the road. Now, I think it's more of a freeway now, but it used to be just one road. But now I think that the construction company, I think they're all done with that. But now they have 2 roads, I think. So just across the road is Texas Motor Speedway. And then you go further down, like I say, it's pretty much the same. You go a little bit further, there's that housing development. And then a little bit further on, there's, there's the good old Grapevine Mills Mall. And then, of course, I think kind of in that area, you got that Sam Moon and all that business for the people that have wives out there or girlfriends. Y'all know about Sam Moon. It's a place that sells purses. So see, I touch grass once in a while. I do. Actually, I touch other pavement because that's really, deep set. But it's a whole different thing. Like I say, it's like trying to tell people about like a Tractor Supply Company or a Sutherland's, right? Those are uniquely Texas things. I mean, Whataburger as well. That's a pretty uniquely Texas thing, But I mean, I don't know, like I say, I've lived in the city too long, and I'll interact with some of those things and hear about how it used to be, this and that. But in general, pretty much adapted to this thing. But I don't know. It is what it is, right? Like I say, Texas, while it is one thing, I think, and there are agreements across the board about what Texas is, there are other things that I think, people would have disagreements about and everything else, But yeah, it is what it is, like I say. Texas is a big old place and, a lot of differences. But yeah, I can imagine, like I say, I mean, you have to think, people have to think about this on a deeper level about, like I say, how I kind of broke down what Texas is like and the differences there, versus, just kind of thinking that some sort of national divorce is going to occur and everything else. As much as Republicans or as much as Democrats disagree, they don't want to do that. Even the Paul Gosar, even the Paul Gosar types, they don't want to do that. They don't want to. They don't want to do that. They don't have the cojones to do that. So, I mean, we see the differences. We see, a lot of dissent goes on in, in the States and all this business. But I feel that nobody's willing to really take it further than what they think, I mean, that's my take on it anyway. But yeah. Sorry for the dead air. Yeah. there's too much to lose even in marriage as bad as this is. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, I mean, we just have to write it out, I guess, as it is, you know. Hate to say it like that, but people are going to have to write it out. People are going to have to just kind of keep going with this thing and go from there, right? That's what's going to happen. Just kind of, we're just going to have to keep going down this path, you know, whatever that takes, you know. I would love to see this infrastructure bill actually do something, but I have a feeling it won't. There's a lot of promises there, you know, this reconciliation bill, you know, just accepting, you know, immigrants as they are, you know, the ones that are truly, you know, a part of the fabric of this nation, whatever the hell that means. I just don't think it's going to be that easy. I really don't. And the dissent is going to continue. Yeah, but as a subversive version, I will always argue for a swift divorce. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course. And that's okay. That's perfectly acceptable. Yeah. It's just not realistic. Yeah. Give us crumbs, lol. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, this infrastructure bill is going to help bigger companies. And it's going to help them get, you know, get better jobs, maybe. It's going to help maybe, you know, with the idea of trickle-down economics, which is literally just pissing on you. It's giving you a golden shower. It's like, why even call it trickle-down economics? Just call it golden shower economics. Just do that. Just call it golden shower economics. Because that's really what it is. You know, this idea that, oh, well, the corporations will give you jobs, bro. It'll be okay. I mean, and the thing is, this is part of a larger bad argument that people play, where it's just like, well, cell phone innovation came about through the government. It's like, okay, yeah, they did do the initial launch. Yes, that's true. But of course, people will then what they'll say is, oh, okay, well, did they come up with the iPhone? Well, no, but. And the thing is, of course, when you mention that stuff, well, the government helped make these things, like, yeah, that's why Jeff Bezos is also part of like national security contracts and everything else to give over information to people. That's why Google gives their information to the U.S. government so that they can continue to be okay with things. Like I say, that they can continue to not be harassed as much. You know, and them personally, not necessarily because they give a shit about free speech and all. They don't care about that. But to me, it's just, I don't know. I can't think of a better. Here's another thing, too, that's just running through my head, so I'm going to say it out loud. I have never seen a time where any sort of dissident is almost completely impotent to any sort. They can't even do any sort of change. I mean, people give in and they're just like, yeah, just protest, bro. You know, protests work. And it's just like, and you realize this machine that exists, we can't really fight it the same way, can we? I don't know. And of course, any dissident today just seems like, well, screw China and screw Russia and all this sort of thing. Don't get me wrong. I mean, some will give lip service to China and Russia, but then we'll be like, oh, well, look at what Russia did here, what they did there. It's just like, well, you know, but generally speaking, I don't know. To me, it's just ridiculous. With all this sort of bullshit that goes on. You see just how pointless it feels, doesn't it? It feels pointless at times. Yeah. Conscious of individual. And notice how when anything big goes down, copycats happen after. Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, most dissident groups or the damn from fascist communists will do omerta, and that's the way forward at this point. I kind of unironically agree with you. Yeah, I do. like I said, my theory is this. Is that I think this is kind of the more realistic theory is you're going to have like an economic collapse. I think both the left and the right have talked about this. But I think more to the point is you're going to have a failure of the United States federal government to rule over some areas and to come in. And I think that there's just going to be priorities. They're going to say, we're going to take care of these areas like port cities, or we're going to take care of this area that has an Amazon warehouse or whatever. They're going to prioritize those areas, and other places are going to be forgotten. And those are going to be the areas that are gang rule, And if the gangs get powerful enough and they get enough influence amongst people and, other countries, then the U.S. will simply make deals with them. I mean, that's my attitude. I mean, we saw this even to a point with, all the business at Chaz, right? Where it's like, now, of course, even with Trump and whatnot saying we need to send troops in, the state governments refused. And, Jenny Durkin refused. And like I say, I think that we're going to see some of that occur where it's like there's going to be a balance. Yeah, we'll only empower global homo. Can't believe some right-wingers don't get this. Yeah, that's true, though. That is true. The idea of America has to die. I do believe that. And I know I apologize for the outright Fed posting, but I'll just say it. But yeah, I mean, that is the truth. The idea of America has to die. There's no point in trying to make this country more, accountable for its errors or any. It doesn't matter. It genuinely does not matter. This country doesn't serve anybody. You can go ahead and say it does, but it's crumbs. It's always been crumbs. Where the hell was I going with this? But I was going to say is that basically, I think that the only way it can happen is just if the United States just gives up, and they're just like, and the federal government just gives up and says, screw this area. We don't care about it anymore. They're all just, all these people are just, yeah. I don't know if you can voluntarily kill it, though. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they are, though. Yeah, right-wingers generally are, yeah. But a Republican president is not in power. Yeah. Yeah, that is true. I would just say that this is in my opinion, there's no whatever going to happen, the will of Allah. Yeah. Yeah, no, I feel the same way, though, Tamuj. Yeah, I'm on the ride at this point. I'm just waiting to see how it goes. Because I think a lot of people are waiting for that. People are waiting for those cracks to show. They're waiting for those fault lines to come up. They're waiting. They're waiting 24/7 for any sort of little crack. They're like, I'm sure people, when they saw Chaz happen, and the fact that it lasted Foundation of that with vax and unvax divide, yeah. And the mandates, yeah. If they won't go through, yeah. With that, you're going to see people cut off from society. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. You're going to see, unvaxxed people are going to be, they're not going to be put into camps or nothing like, no. They've learned from, all that sort of thing. We're not going to put them into camps. We're just going to have them basically cut off from society. They're going to voluntarily live in the woods. And they're going to become, it depends on how far this goes, but yeah. And if I don't leave by October 30th, I may never leave Canada because I'm not vaxxed. Oh, damn. Damn, homie. And if you genuinely critique America, many right-wingers will just call you a soy boy, SJW, cuck leftist, or an outright communist. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think that, people are trying to play some 4D chess, like I say. And we've seen this with Haas and Caleb Maupin, who are trying to talk about patriotism. They're trying to talk about, well, America isn't perfect, this and that. But, if we just get enough Americans on our side, then, the violence and all that, we don't want to talk about violence. We don't want to talk about violent revolutions. It'll just happen. And while I can... I'm just... Okay, sorry. I lost track of what I was saying. But basically, what happens when... you realize that this country does not represent you. More than just, white people, this and that, but when you realize that it's not just, you can't just start a business and just, boom, be in business. We see that in a lot of different places, where you can't really start a business, just boom, like that. Many businesses are struggling. I was going to go with the extreme, though, that, screw it. If we're going to Fed post, let's Fed post all the way. That I think that the difference between vaxxed and unvaxxed will be that the vaxxed people will live a world of serfdom, and the unvaxxed will be partisans. That could happen. I think it could. Is that the unvaxxed could become partisans who, maybe if they read a bit of Mao, this and that, land reform would help keep the American idea together. Yeah, it could. But I don't think, government people are willing to give up that power. They aren't willing to take the land from people like Bill Gates. They aren't willing to take the land from, the ranchers and all this. Like I say, I did a video a few months back where I was talking about, the huge land that other people have. You could talk about Bill Gates and how much land he owns, yeah, but there are a lot of ranchers and everything else that are going to be fighting back as well, against, veganism and all this sort of thing, these things that are rising up, right? I will not eat the bugs. I will not, I will not sleep in the pod, right? All that business, but yeah. We see a future that's very bleak. We see a country that, even if, I will try to give Biden some credit, as much as I sound like him kind of stuttering and forgetting what I was saying. But if Biden's reforms do work, even if they don't work completely, if they're able to at least get the ball rolling to try to compete with China and compete with other nations, then maybe we will reach some sort of equilibrium again. But I think that's all we can do. I don't think that we can surpass. And I really don't think anyone can really surpass the United States. Or, excuse me. Let me back up. I don't think the United States could surpass other countries right now. You can go ahead and say, oh, look how many, aircraft carriers we have, or how many destroyers and all this other stuff. But it's like, yeah, spit out that black pill. Okay. All right. I'll go ahead and spit it out then. Okay. There we go. Should I spit it out? All right. But I feel like we're going to see what happens with these reforms that Biden does. We're going to see what happens with the purging of the U.S. military, which I believe is still kind of in process. And we're going to see if the military is still a high-speed, low-drag, Ranger Joe place. That comes from a Jody, I'm a high-speed, low-drag Ranger Joe. Something like that. But anyway, we're going to see what happens. That's all we can do, right? I mean, I've said this for a while, but yeah, all we can do is see what happens. You can, like I say, there are plenty of podcasters and whatnot that have to make money, and they have to keep on putting shit out. So they're going to talk about the Cold War. They're going to talk about these other issues. For me, I'm trying to look ahead. I'm trying to. I'll admit, I don't have many brain cells left. I mean, you've heard me stutter. You've heard me kind of have these long pauses. So I don't have much else. I don't have much other time. You know, I can read some books and try to get some sort of, get some brain cells working. But in general, I'm just waiting to see what's going to happen. We see in France, this potential, what's his name? Zemmour. You know, we're going to see what happens with this Zemmour guy in France. I think it's going to be, I think it's going to suck because it's going to be like 2013 with Extra Strong. Yeah, I have that feeling too. I do as well. We're just going to see. It's going to be bad. It is. I just think that there's going to be some lip service given. And I think that they don't want to alienate everybody. At least in my opinion, they don't want to completely destroy everybody. So they're going to at least give some lip service to it. Be like, you don't have to give in to the gay stuff, but it's like, I don't know where we're going. But it's going to be a mess, yeah. In other news, I got a job interview. Oh, okay. Well, good luck to you. Good luck to you in your job interview. Good luck to you. I hope that goes well for you. Yeah. Nice to chill out in a different part of the country. Oh, that sounds good. That sounds good. Yeah. I got a couple of days off. I got today and tomorrow off. Although I say that, but really, even at my regular job, I have a fair amount of free time. I hide in the back. Yeah. Yeah, it's rough out there, and I'm working at a hotel currently. But yeah, I'm just gonna dox myself here, but yeah. But I do wish you the best of luck though, Long Dong, my man. I do. I hope it goes well for you. Like I say, it beats working for, these BS temp job companies like Express Employment. I spent years, working for them, and it can be challenging. Definitely working jobs like that. Like I say, it's the United States, so it's not like working in a third world country or something like that. But yeah. So I've been there. Yep. I'm starting to settle into the work of maintenance. But that's a whole different story, Hotel maintenance can be a pain, especially when the electricity stuff and the electrical systems are just, and the wiring, I should say specifically, is not the greatest. It's a brand new hotel, but yeah, it's a whole different thing. But a lot of it is fairly simple stuff, so that's good. I will eventually have to get into, eventually down the line, depending on how long I'm going to stay, change out toilets and stuff like that, and, find flanges and all that business. But that's a whole different story. We're talking years down the line, but it's not too bad. For the most part, I just hide in the back and just try to hide from managers, so nothing different from any other job I've had, basically. Just kind of hiding from the managers, hiding from the boss, Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. I'm looking at this story from The Hill. 3 million euros worth of Nutsi. Yes, I am saying National Socialist memorabilia found in alleged diddler's home. I hate to use that term, but yeah, I'm trying to be polite here. 3 million euros worth of that. Holy shit. I feel like this story comes up like every other year, doesn't it? It's in Rio de Janeiro. Like, so there's a lot of stuff like this that occurs, isn't there? What kind of hotel is it? It's fairly nice. Yeah, it's fairly nice. Like I say, it's ones that they have dishwashers, and they have the bigger fridges. I don't know anything about dishwashers, but I'm learning as time goes on. It's got a pool. Yeah, there's an outdoor place where it's like, it's not. I guess it's a fire pit. I'll put it that way, but it's operated through gas, so it's fairly nice. It's obviously, it's a little bit better than like regular amenities. It's a Hilton hotel, but yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. But yeah, this is wild to read this story. So I remember last year, or maybe it was like a year or two ago, that they were in like. And it kind of proves the point. It's like Hortler didn't die, sort of stuff. But it's like when I think it was also in Brazil, or maybe it was like Paraguay, where they said that they found more Nazi memorabilia in like somebody's basement of a house that just died. A guy's house that just died, and they're like looking in the basement and stuff, and they find all this Nazi propaganda. And it's just like, it kind of proves the point where it's like, oh, did Hortler really die in the bunker, or did he die in Brazil or something like that? I don't know. It's crazy. Fed's confident air and rail vaccine mandates are illegal. Canada. Yeah. Exactly. Well, Canada. I mean, I feel sorry for Canada. Canada gets it on both ends. They just get it on multiple ends, don't they? They get it through the whole, because of what occurred with, the Catholics and all that, and the indigenous schools and whatnot. We're going to set fire to churches and stuff like that. We're going to burn all these churches down. And then, of course, you have these vaccines. You have all this shit going on in Canada. I can't really I don't know that much about, yeah. Oh, Canada. Oh, man. It's just such a... Yeah. Yeah. But there is a lot to learn about different nations. Like I say, it was a good deep dive that we did on France earlier, because now a lot of people are talking about France. So I feel like a trendsetter in a way, that we were one of the first ones to talk about it, at least as far as I can see from the Spurg zone that I sit in. But there's an interesting, what I'm going to see if I can get. There's an interesting, I think it's just a magazine, because it's Middle East at War number 15. Moskva's Game of Poker, Russian military intervention in Syria, 2015 to 2017. Now, this sounds fascinating as hell, because I'm looking at the site right now. It's Middle East at War 15. And it's about, let's see here, it's, what is it, 16 pounds and 95 pence. I'm looking at it right now. But it looks interesting as hell. And I do want to look at it. It's got 130 photographs. It sounds very interesting. It's more talking about Syria, this and that. So maybe I'll try to get it, and I'll read some of it on stream. I don't think I'm going to be too cringe and show my face again, but I may. I don't know. But I may order that when I get some money and see. Interesting as hell. I'm going to drop a link just in case, for those of you that do have the money. I'll go ahead and drop it. Why not? But it sounds interesting as a motherfucker. Yeah. And talks about some different aspects, like, how disorganized the Syrian military was, and Hezbollah was probably, and the IRGC were probably more effective than Assad, the actual Syrian Arab army was. I think that, like I say, I don't completely disagree with this. Yeah, I would say that, Iran is reemerging as, a new power player. It has been, obviously, 1979, obviously the revolution, but I think that they have grown immensely, and they are trying to create their own native, drones. A lot of it is copy still, but I think that, Iran is becoming a power player. I think there's nothing wrong with that. I think Iran is one of the most legitimate countries that exist right now, because I think that they are, well, like I say, you can go ahead and there's plenty to criticize, I'm sure, that you could say about Iran, but I think in general, it is fighting back, at least, in rhetoric, against a lot of these things. But in my opinion, it's something to look at. But yeah, I would like to read this though a bit more. Like I said, there's so much. Like I say, unfortunately, in the West, we don't really understand what's going on in Western Asia, I think is the proper term, or in Iran or in Syria. And it's hard for us, like I say, we only rely on, people like, let's say Richard Medhurst, for example. And it's like Richard Medhurst, although he is Anglo and Syrian, he's in Europe. He lives in Europe. So it's a different perspective. Even with people like Hakim, the infamous Iraqi ML, I believe he lives possibly in Europe or possibly Canada. I'm not sure. Maybe the US. I don't know. But yeah, hail Iran. Yeah, the true land of gamers. Yeah, you know the word. Yeah, exactly. But I would say, in general, that's where we are. And I think that, feel as you want to about Russia and Iran. But the thing is, though, they would probably be the better options in terms of, creating friendships and trying to get weapons from. If we really, I'm Fed posting hard. Like I said, I'm just going to label this Fed post, but let's just go ahead and go there. Feel as you want to about it, but you have some of these Spurs who are like, oh, Iran, should just be a Ba'athist. He should, but he won't. I have a feeling. I remember seeing him on a live stream, and that Hakim, I think, was like, yeah. I've heard him praise to a point Saddam Hussein, but I think that he is the country resurrected from the ashes of civilization. Oh yeah, absolutely. But I think Hakim, as far as I know, I think that he is Sunni. I think that he is Sunni, though, within the country of Iraq. As we know, he's Iraqi. And I know that he is I trolled him a little bit with this live stream with that, what's his name, Ugopnik guy. But he didn't really care for the various Shia militias in his country. And he says that they are thugs and all this sort of thing, and that they're gangsters. And it's just like, this is what it is, though. I think that Iraq, as far as I know, is still a majority Shia country. I think it's 55-45. I'm going to continue to point this out, but I think, that may be shifting in, the Sunni Shia split. I keep on getting into this, and I keep on saying these things. I need to read up more about Islam and really understand the deeper issues between it, and try not to get spurgy about it. But yeah, it's 60%. Okay, hold on. This cat's getting wild. Let's see what's going to happen here. Hold on. Give me a moment, folks. Hello. Yeah, okay. I hear someone scratching at the door. Is that right? What? What? Okay. Is she better now? She doesn't want to talk to me? Okay, that's fine. No, she doesn't. He's in there now. Doesn't like me either. Okay, that's fine. That's fine then. Leave it. Okay, I'm going to close the door then. He's out getting food right now. All right. Okay, let's carry on though. Yeah, let Kitty talk. Yeah. Oh, the cat had to get out. It's been a day with these two. But they were both chasing this squirrel, so that's part of the issue. But back on Iraq. Like I say, unless you speak and can read Arabic, you really don't know what's going on there. So you rely on these few folks that are there to tell you. And it's either people like Richard Medhurst who are like, well, Assad is, is the greatest ever, yah. Or you rely on people who are like, Assad is the most evil fascist. It's like they're somewhere in between these vastly different, opinions, It's like if you want to talk about somebody, an idea of the U.S., I mean, the U.S. is not one entity, right? So, anywho, but yeah, it is what it is, as they say. Have I ever seen this? Just asking. Let me see here. Let me look on the YouTubes here right quick here. Let me see here. Apologies for the double audio here. Give me just a moment there, everyone. Give me a moment. There we are. Okay, let's see what we got here. What is this? Mouseland. Okay. ATU. Oh, the New Democrats. Okay. Mouseland. Oh, wow. It's Kiefer Sutherland. Oh. So is this about how... Huh. Interesting. Interesting stuff indeed. Huh. NDP. Oh, okay. Well, British muzzleloader. Oh, okay. Neat. When the Assad must go curse underwent a dangerous mutation. Yeah. Like I say, I've tried to change. I've tried to change my opinions about things. I've tried to be a little more open and realize that, it's not as easy as it seems. It's not as, clear cut as people want to make it. I try to do that. Because I realize that it's a very complex world that we live in. And it's something that's going to take a lot of understanding, And there's a lot of issues in the world that you just have to take things as they are. It's like with Texas, you're not going to change people overnight. You're going to still have folks out there living that cowboy life, right? So you're still going to have folks going down there. It's like, I've herded Longhorn for however long, or I've herded cattle with my daddy, and and his daddy did it with him, and all this, so you're not going to change all this stuff, and you may not want to. So, I mean, you have to take, sometimes you have to take things as they are, and I think it's like I say, it's good for the memes and everything else like that to dab on folks, about, Assad or about all these other things. But you just, generally speaking, I'll just say, yeah, I mean, this is just how it is, And I think it's just ridiculous where, these lefties or whoever are so mad at Assad. They're like, oh, he gassed his own people. So did the U.S. But it's like, oh, but it's worse when it happens over there. And I know if people hear this, I know they're going to say, it's not the same thing, but they killed more people and, the Russians and all this. It's like, yeah, Russia saved Syria. Yeah, it did. Syria has an immense debt. In many ways, is indebted to Russia. It is. And I don't even say that like, oh, Russia's the greatest thing ever. No. I'm just saying that's just, I think that's just truth. Is that Syria is indebted to Russia and to the aerospace forces and the Russian army. Indebted. I don't think that's a spicy take. I just think that's the truth. I think that no matter if you're left wing or right wing, or if you're liberal or conservative or whatever, you would say that as an undeniable truth that, Russia, without the support of Russia, Syria would simply be another country controlled by, various factions that ultimately cut to either Turkey, Israel, or the United States, or all three. Whether it's the LARP state of, the LARP area, the LARP province of Idlib right now with Hayat Tahrir al-Sham continuing to, harass and do all this LARPy shit, thinking that somehow they're legitimate rulers. And no, they, even though they, I think that Turkey to a point is getting tired of these folks. And eventually I think Erdogan, and they're going to give up on them. It's not going to be today. And obviously they're going to continue to play this game as long as they can. But we saw with the recent talks between Erdogan and Putin that things kept quiet for a little bit. And then it kept going, Without Russia, America would have been bombing, Assad's house by now. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And like I say, that's not even me being like some Russia boo or some, I love Putin. I'm just saying it as an objective truth. You feel as you want to. Russia has a lot at stake in Syria. They do. I think it's a huge, important, Syria should be another Libya and Iraq. Syria would be, no, I agree. They would. Iraq and Iran obviously are going to have more power. Once, allegedly, if Biden does pull out of Iraq completely, I'm going to have to agree with Bull the Fifth Column as much as I don't like him. But it's not going to be like Afghanistan. Iraq does have a fairly strong force. Now, mind you, is that they have far more force in the Shia militias, and I cannot think of the name now. The Shahabi. Anyway, Russia, China, and Iran are rising power bloc. Turkey is being signaled by Russia to choose wisely for its future. Oh, absolutely, I think Turkey is kind of playing both sides, and I think they're trying to reclaim something, but I think there are changes that could happen. But we'll see what occurs with that. But we see these power blocks coming up. But I think that there are some areas, of course, people, it seems like, especially now with the rise of China, it's like every other month, people shit their pants over, we have to defend Taiwan. We have to defend it. These people couldn't give a shit about Taiwan. Generally speaking, nobody gives a shit about Taiwan. You're simply virtue signaling Taiwan because it's Chinese people that are not under the Chinese gomis, as you want to put it. That's all it is. What type of relationship does Syria and Iran have with each other? It's more of it's pretty deep, because I know that there's a lot of back and forth between the IRGC and Syria. They have come to the aid quite a bit. IRGC and Hezbollah have come in, and they have, been merciless with the Salafists of, ISIS and these other LARPers. They've been, so it's been pretty, the relationship runs pretty deep, So there is a lot, there is a lot of that going on. The IRGC and General Soleimani, they were instrumental in helping this. Obviously Russia as well. But I think determining, obviously Russia has the air power, and they continue to do the bombing. A lot of the on the ground stuff, as far as I know, Russians are there advising. I'm not sure, like I say, if we really want to say how deep it is. Of course, the Russians have private military contractors like the Wolf one. But the relationship, I think, is more of a. I think Russians are a little bit smarter, and they're keeping their distance in terms of fighting on the ground, and they're allowing IRGC and allowing Hezbollah to come in as much as they can. Like I say, IRGC, Hezbollah, these are much smaller forces, but yeah. I love how American right-wingers live out their nationalistic instincts, yeah, through Israel and now Taiwan, but they're not permitted to do it for America and in America. Oh, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, to me, I mean, the whole thing with Taiwan is this. I mean, I'm no expert on Taiwan, but to me, is that Taiwan, is somewhere that I think a lot of rights were, Taiwan and South Korea, I think, were very similar, where they had pretty much fascists in anything other than name. It was pretty much fascist, I guess, if you really want to put it that way, where, Syngman Rhee and others ruled South Korea that way. Chiang Kai-shek and the Kuomintang ruled with an iron fist. And they, I remember watching a lot of Kung Fu movies and whatnot, but they said, there's a book that I had about, but before every movie in Taiwan, they had the national anthem play. And so you had to stand up and, pledge your allegiance, if you will, to Taiwan. Now, I think that obviously things have changed. You obviously have a lot more power there. But I think in general, there are a lot of more traditional Chinese stuff. There's more traditional Chinese stuff there than you'll find in mainland China. Now, some of that is being rebuilt in mainland China. But since, Mao Zedong and all that, and the, destroying of the three olds, this and that, a lot of temples have been abandoned, this and that. Obviously, with mainland China being the Kung Fu spirit that I am, you have, Southern Shaolin Temple, the now completed Northern Shaolin Temple, like Wudong and those bigger temples, yeah. But you're seeing more of a return to we respect our past sort of thing, but yeah. Turkey honestly needs to cut their neo-Ottoman LARP fantasies, maybe even return to Kamala's Turkey. I don't know. It's possible, but who knows? I've heard that possibly lefties could be winning in Turkey. I don't know, but yeah. In an upscale version of the way he dealt with Hong Kong. Yeah. Like I say, I mean, I've said before, kind of maybe ignorantly, but I think that there could be, I think without U.S. influence, I think that I really don't think that Taiwan is going to be violently invaded. I really don't. I could be proven wrong. I'm going to say that because I'd like to cover my ass, but I really genuinely don't think China would want to invade Taiwan. I don't. Because, why would they do that? China is still on the soft power policy of, hey, if we help you, build this, build these road systems and stuff like that, then you can get our connections and we can do trade, stuff like that. Why would China then suddenly want to just go into the full-on, let's just start invading? No, why would they do that? They wouldn't, like I say, it doesn't make any sense. Why would they realistically do that? I think also with China, they are trying to put to heel a lot of the billionaires that exist. They're trying to put them to heel and to say, hey, you're going to be subservient. Now, of course, people are going to say that the billionaires are always subservient. Maybe so. But the thing is, though, they at least want to give the appearance that, things are going to be taken. But yeah. Is incredible reach. Erdogan by now understands Russia and China determine what Central Asia does and doesn't do. Yeah, maybe so. Yeah, okay. I'll give into that. All right. But I feel like, where am I going with this? Honestly, where am I going? But I've said before, and I feel strongly about this. Maybe I'll be proven wrong. I really don't think China would want to do that. I just think that they could create better relations with Taiwan in other ways. I really do. I really don't believe somehow. Do we think we are in for a major economic crisis because of all the COVID stuff and supply chain breakdown? It's possible. Absolutely, it is. I do think that there is a way. There is a lot of that going on. Obviously the supply chain with the we've seen the Kellogg strike is happening. The movie or like the movie company strikes going on. Not the companies, but like the unions, like the people who make the movies. Like Grips and stuff like that. They're going on strike. So we're seeing a lot of these things play out. Now, like I said, depending on how strong they are and how much they're willing to put through, and are they dedicated enough? Are they disciplined enough? It's another thing. Like I say, the Frito-Lay, let me see what happened with the Frito-Lay stuff, because I know people were talking about that a while, the Frito-Lay strike. So I wonder what happened with that. Let me see. Because people talked about it and then they forgot. Workers strike at Kellogg's plants, Kellogg cereal plants. Let's see here. Frito-Lay in 20-day strike after new agreement. Okay. So they strike to end for suicide shifts. Okay. Ends as Kansas Workers Strike Union. Yeah, basically this ended back in July. And nobody, people were talking about like, oh, well, of course we support it. But it just kind of died a slow death, didn't it? And it looks like that's what could happen. Let me go ahead and read more about this Kellogg stuff. Let me read this right quick here. I'm going to just click on Yahoo News just to be lazy. But let's go ahead and see. Yeah. I think the union sold them out. Oh, okay. That's probably true. Yeah. I heard the agreement was shit. Oh, yeah. I bet so. Like I say. People have been LARPing about it. Yeah. Let's see what this. Yeah. Frito-Lay employees went on strike, followed by Pepsi truck drivers. Then in August, Nabisco bakers went on strike. All of those strikes were resolved with new agreements, so it probably shouldn't be surprising that similar unions would follow suit. Yesterday, workers at Kellogg's U.S. cereal plants walked off the job. 1,400 workers across all 4 of Kellogg's cereal plants in Omaha, Nebraska, Battle Creek, Michigan, Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and Memphis, Tennessee are currently striking. Okay, let's click on this Associated Press article because they're a little bit better than others. Let's see here. Nebraska, 1,400 workers. Company continues to threaten to send additional jobs to Mexico if workers do not accept outrageous proposals to take away protections that workers have had for decades. Okay, so this is the Bakery, Confectionery, Tobacco Workers, and Grain Millers International Union. A lot of Americans probably don't have too much issue with the Nike or Under Armour hats being made elsewhere or even our vehicles, but when they start manufacturing our food down, where they are out of the FDA control and OSHA control, I have a huge problem with that. Okay. The company insists that its offer is fair and would increase wages and benefits for its employees that it said made an average of $120,000 a year. We are disappointed by the union's decision to strike. Kellogg provides, Osborne said he expects the company to bring non-union workers. Yeah, so they bring the scabs in. Company acknowledged that it is implementing contingency plans to limit supply disruptions for consumers. The plants have all continued to operate throughout the coronavirus pandemic, but Osborne said that for much of that time, workers were putting in 12-hour shifts 7 days a week to keep up production while so many people were out because of the virus. The level we were working at is unsustainable. Early this summer, more than 600 workers, Frito-Lay plant, walked off the job to protest. Workers at Nabisco plants, strike ended last month when workers ratified a new contract. So it sounds like this is going to end up the same way. And I think we're seeing a lot of these strikes go on, and it's going to be, this is basically, I think, just kind of this is a distraction from larger issues. whether it's the Fed not being able to take care of its shit, or whether it's, the debt ceiling, which are related issues, obviously. But there are a lot of issues that I think the United States is not able to cope with. And I think that there's a handful of people, and I don't, you can translate that whatever way you want to, but I think who are working out the details and just trying to keep the system going. It's like having I'm going to put it this way, like having an old air conditioner. And you got let's say it this way. You got a combination old gas, like a 60%, as they call atmospheric gas heater, or like an old R22 unit. And you're just changing parts on it right now. You're just changing parts enough so that it will keep running another few years. And that's really what it is, in my opinion, with the economy and with wages. You're just making little tweaks here and there to keep this thing going. But the thing is broken. It's ultimately broken. You cannot find the parts anymore. And we're getting to that point where we can't keep doing it this way. We really can't. And like I say, I don't think completely the LARPy, market socialist types, I don't think they have the answer either. I really don't. I don't think that they have the answer to, like, well, we're going to do this now. We're going to fix all it. I don't know. All I know is that I think what's going to occur is just more regionalism. I think I said that earlier a bit, but I think that regionalism is going to play a stronger role. And I think ultimately the federal government just will not be able to provide the same level of money, basically, that they have provided before. And that money isn't going to be worth as much as it used to. So I think regionalism and states working with other states, and state and county will have to work much more closely together to keep communities going. I just think that this is where a potential economic collapse will occur. And of course, people will say, well, that'll affect the whole world. It's just, you know what I mean? But there's a lot of basic bitch stuff out there. Deeper issues, I think, are being worked out. But I think there's a lot of folks who just, they don't see issues coming. There's something we can do for you?
I just want to see if I can see Joe.
Oh, he's under the bed.
Okay, if I shut it then?
Yep, that's fine. Go ahead. Oh, Racism 2, would you like to join? Oh, man. Would I ever? Racism 2. Oh, man. Who's going to be the CEO of Racism now, huh? There's been a lot of CEOs, but there's been a lot of replacement, haven't there? Been a lot of replacements of that. I don't know. I think that it's not as gloom and doom as possible. I just think that things will become more regional to a point. You won't be able to get, I'll put it this way, you won't be able to get, your Gatorade or something like that, but you can get more local stuff, So, yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's all bad, but I do think that, yeah, it's bowl time. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yep, it is. It's bowl time. I need to wash the bowls. Yeah. Oh, man. Oh. But that's all we can do, though. Like I say, I mean, you can have the endless talks between various groups or whatever about, things should be this way, things should be that way. Ah, man. Oh man, I don't know. But yeah, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. A lot of craziness going on. I don't know. I've kind of moved away from, worrying necessarily to a point about what Jason Unruh or what commentators say, because ultimately the commentators, they don't know what's going on. They just read the articles and they tell people what they want to hear. And to a point, I do that as well, let's be honest. But I've moved on from a little bit of that. At least that's what I'd like to think. And I'm trying to give something a little bit more relevant to the day, right? It's a complex, like I said, there's so many complex systems that keep this system going. Whether it's the internet, whether it's the electrical grid, whether it's water, and that's obviously down to the county level and city level, roads, what sort of voting systems you're going to have. And then there's things that you don't have any control over. It's like going to the local McDonald's, right? It's all controlled by some company. I think McDonald's is controlled by, I think it's still controlled by a British firm. I could be wrong, but let me see. Location. Let me see here. Who owns McDonald's? Let's see here. So Ray Kroc, of course, people will talk about, but it's been a long time since Ray Kroc has run anything. Obviously, he's dead. IT is the world's fast food chain with 38,000 outlets in 119 countries. Owns McDonald's. Been owned by Kroc since 1955. Bought out the McDonald brothers. Kroc has owned exclusive brand name rights of all McDonald's locations. Okay, McDonald brothers. Okay, what year is this? Okay, this is 2020. Okay, so let's see here. McDonald brothers, Ray Kroc. Well, he's dead. Yeah, he died in 1984. $600 million was his worth. His story is told. Yeah, the founder. Okay. Okay, they don't. Okay. Does not exist anymore. It was demolished in 1972. Independent McDonald's Museum. The oldest existing McDonald's restaurant, Hamburger, Downey, California. Okay. That tells me nothing. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'll go ahead and check the wiki then. I was just curious at this point. Yeah, McDonald's sucks so bad now. Oh, absolutely. Red Bull meat on Taiwanese national. Yeah, every fast food place acts like they're desperate for workers when you see the sign print. Yeah, $9 an hour. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh, Taiwanese nationalism, huh? I mean, Taiwanese nationalism is basically just like, let's fight Mogomis. That's it. I mean, that's basically what Taiwanese nationalism is, right? It's like, we're the true Chinese, ultimately. That's their whole nationalism, right? It's like, we're the true Chinese, and they're not. We have held on to tradition, while mainland China has destroyed a lot of it, even though they're trying to rebuild it now. I mean, I would argue that that's pretty much what Taiwanese nationalism is. Now, of course, people can say, "Oh, there's more to it than that." I'm sure people will say that, but that's pretty much what it is, and rely on the U.S. to come help us. I don't know. There's a lot of fear mongering, especially about Taiwan, and people who, I mean, it's silly the simping for China that goes on, where it's like, do you really think? Do you think that these people give a shit about Taiwan? I don't think they do. They're just doing it because they hate, go meet China so much. It's just like, stop coping. And that's my feeling about it. It's like, stop coping about it. Stop pretending like you give a shit. No. I mean, that's my feeling on it anyway. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's my feeling on it anyway. Yeah. North Korea nukes every nation country. Yeah. Do evil. Yeah. The evil gummies. Yeah. Whooped our asses. Yeah. Taiwan keeper probably. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Taiwan Coper probably. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Are there more Chinese nationalist parties than Taiwan national? Yeah. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Let's see here. Okay, so traded as okay. Richard and Maurice McDonald. Okay. Key people: Enrique Hernandez Jr., President and CEO of Intercom. He's been the non-executive chairman of McDonald's since May 2016. Let's see here. Christopher John Kepchinski. Kepchinski is how I'm going to pronounce it. Kempchinski? Yeah, whatever. Let's see here. International. Okay, so board of directors. Let's see here. Situated, which is valued. Okay. And started to build on the former site of Harpo Productions. Wow, that's Oprah Winfrey, huh? Wow. Plans to move its global headquarters to Chicago's West Loop, near the west side. Oh, wow. Former headquarters loop is located in Oak Brook, Illinois. It sits on the site of the former headquarters and stabling area of Paul Butler, the founder of Oak Brook. McDonald's moved into the Oak Brook facility within the Chicago Loop in 1971. So Chicago. It's all about Chicago. After being a chief brand officer of McDonald's and his former head in the UK, Northern Europe, Steve Easterbrook became CEO, succeeding Don Thompson. Huh, interesting. I'm just curious about this stuff. The Economist newspaper, Big Mac Index. Yeah, it really is, yeah. McDonald's has become emblematic of globalization, sometimes referred to as McDonaldization of society. The Economist newspaper uses the Big Mac Index. Yeah, Big Mac. Yeah, with the country with the least expensive Big Mac is India, Maharaja Mac. The next cheapest Big Mac is in Hong Kong. Interesting. No country with McDonald's. Oh, Thomas Friedman said that a country with the McDonald's had gone to war. No country with the McDonald's had gone to war with another. However, the Golden Arches theories of conflict prevention is incorrect. Oh shit, this is fucking stupid. Exemptions are the 1989 United States invasion of Panama, NATO's bombing of Serbia. Oh man. Oh boy. McDonald's is a plan, aren't you? Yeah. You are the most powerful wigger on the internet. I appreciate that. I do. I appreciate that. Holy shit. It's hard to think about because, I mean, that's what really defines the U.S., isn't it? I bet if I could find enough information, I'd get real autistic. Find, like, the history of McDonald's, right? Because, like, that's what the U.S. is. I mean, you think about my burger nationalism, right? Or more my burger, right? I mean, you can talk about Burger King, you can talk about whatever, but McDonald's is the real thing that's like, that's the quintessential American thing. And I say that especially after eating a McDonald's meal, because I am a fat, slobby American. But it is that quintessential American thing, isn't it? I mean, what else is, I mean, there are plenty of other quintessentials that you could talk about with the U.S., whether it's baseball, which I would argue that nobody gives a shit about. Football, once again, apart from boomers, nobody gives a shit about. I mean, soccer, no one, you know, it's just spoiled bitches that play soccer at this point. You know, the women's soccer team, ugh, stuck up broads that they are. But you think about it, it's like the one quintessential of the U.S. that's in pretty much every U.S. city is McDonald's. And you get that quarter pounder with cheese meal. Or you get that, you know, you get that kids meal with a little toy. or whatever, right? But now I saw that there's a complication now. They're making it more complicated where it's like instead of number 1, number 2, number 3, they'll do like 1A and like 2B and stuff like that. Don't forget rugby, British. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, rugby. Yeah, rugby. Yeah, rugby is very British though. Third series in Cult Detective Special is one of the greatest characters of all time. I'd say it's interesting to see, with the Brits. Muscovy. Oh man, it's funny to see. I don't know. Maybe I just need to touch some grass more. Maybe I'll go out a little bit tomorrow. Yeah. And most of us still buy into it, unfortunately. Yeah, we do. Pokemon cards that the value will be worth more than treasury bonds. Oh yeah, exactly. Capitalism is a semactor. Yep. It is. I do have that book. Hold on. I do have a book. Maybe I'll read eventually when I get back to doing videos on Ernst Jung, or maybe I'll record one tomorrow. But I do have Society of the Spectacle by Guy Debord. I do have that one. Society is a Spectacle. So I do have that one. Hold on. Just a short bit of dead air. I do also have. Yeah, I do have Simulacra and Stimulation by Baudrillard. I do have Simulacra and my Baudrillard. Maybe one day I'll read those if I don't die of a heart attack or something. But McDonald's is one of those places where it's just like, you know what you want, pretty much. You know what you're going to get. So it's just like, it's like going to your favorite hooker, Yeah, reading is gay. I agree it is, but I pretend to do it. I got all these books on the shelf, so I feel guilty. So I'll at least read a couple of them. Oh, it's easy to just bullshit, isn't it? Maybe I'll get a chance to go, well, maybe I'll just walk around the neighborhood. Yeah. Jean Baudrillard is my favorite. Oh, man. There you go. Oh, man. Two people do not have the right to sabotage what 48 want. Oh, man. I think that a lot of this stuff between Kirsten Sinema and, Joe Manchin, people are so mad at that because they feel genuinely upset about Kirsten Sinema, like she was one of us and she turned on us. It's like, what would you do if you were offered that amount of money? Everyone wants to just act like, oh man, she's so awful for that. McGriddle isn't that bad of a sandwich, yeah. But it's like, why are people so upset at her? And it's just like people, and it's basically a straw man in my opinion, where it's just like, because what Joe Manchin and what I read almost everything he wrote in my 20s and 30s. Oh, wow. Baby Yoda nuggies. Yeah. Did they have that? Really? I wouldn't be surprised. I have no idea. Like I say, I just get the quarter pound with cheese meal and I see myself out. But yeah. Either that or else I just get something off the dollar menu, right? You get all your change together that you've had for like weeks and you're just like, oh man, do I have enough money? I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's a wild thing to think about. It is. They don't have a dollar menu anymore? Oh, damn. Oh, damn. That tells you, because ultimately I think I had somebody else pay for me. So that's how you do it, ladies and gentlemen. But now that I spend most of my time at this hotel, there's always, like I say, it's booze galore. I'll put it this way. There's booze galore. Like I say, every other day, those housekeepers are coming down. It's like they got Michelob. They got, they got the Bud Light. They got, they got the fancy wine. They've got like Chianti, stuff like that. Real fancy stuff, But yeah, personally, I don't get it with McDonald's aside from the fries. Their food isn't really that great. Their burgers are hell, and they're way better. Yeah. They are way better though. Yeah, not be racist or anything. Last time I went, all blacks working there, so I left. Oh yeah, exactly. Well, it's a good thing you didn't go to somewhere like Popeyes. Oh man, Popeyes, that's oof. Oh man, can you imagine going to a Popeyes though? Flat as hell. I mean, oh yeah. I know. I agree. Like I say, I mean, it's funny. You got that, and then you got like Wendy's, stuff like that. Yeah. Personally, I like the chicken nuggies at Wendy's better. They taste better anyway. Imagine eating food from Popeyes. Yeah, exactly. You say that, but the thing is, though, yeah, Chick-fil-A is based. Yeah, Chick-fil-A is fairly based. Yeah. Wendy's does have superior nuggies. They're cheaper, too. Yeah. Chick-fil-A is okay. Like I say, it's a while, they're very polite, this and that, but it's like you got to have some time to be there because, usually that line is pretty long. It's like if you live in the South, you're going to be waiting. It's like most people, I'm here to shitpost and derail the stream. That's okay. That's all right. It's good to just, it's good to just talk about, it's just good to shoot the shit a little bit. What's really something that if you get older and you're still broke, I think what more people are going to, Dollar General and Dollar Tree. Let me tell you something. Do you have Culver's down there? We do not have Culver's. No. I think I've heard of it, but no. It sounds familiar, but no. Not that I can think of. Five Guys. Yeah. Our Five Guys closed down, unfortunately. But yeah, Wendy's, Chick-fil-A, etc. Yeah. But I have discovered the beauty and the ease of the Dollar General / the Dollar Tree. Has some frozen things now. They do. They have like 4 or 5 different, freezers filled with stuff. Yeah. I have to say Dollar General has really stepped their game up. I will say that. They have definitely stepped their game up a lot. So I'm like, hell yeah. I'm glad for Dollar Tree and Dollar General. Because I'm so sick and tired of going to Walmart. Because I don't want to walk around for hours. I don't want to walk for like, it seemed like half a mile to go down just to get like some baby powder. I don't want to do that. It's like, no, man, I just want to get the baby powder and leave. So it's like, I'd rather just go to Dollar General or go to Dollar Tree. I'd rather just do that. You know what I mean? It's like, if I can do that, it's like, I know Dollar General and Dollar Tree, those are some rough places sometimes. You can deal with some crazy motherfuckers and you will have, some wild shit that goes on. But if you hit it at the right time, it's a lot easier. But, like I say, but that's I think that's the new American thing, really. It's like, yeah, if you have money, you'll go to, like fancier places like, I don't know, like a United Market Street or something like that. Yeah, I don't go to Walmart without my 45. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Very cozy. I appreciate that. Burger King as well, especially with the onion rings. Yeah, Burger King does well with the onion rings. That's true. And the burgers are better than McDonald's. Oh, yeah, absolutely. They are. I agree. Selling Donkey Coin, yeah. Pork fat and flour. It's ugly, but the base of flavor. I'm just looking at Twitter. Oh man, I have to say Twitter has lightened up a little bit. Maybe it's because I don't go on the cringe places anymore. I try not to mess with like the anarchist sides and all that. I just stay on. I just stay in my little zones. It's much easier. I realize that, as you get older. I will say this about Canada, or at least a one of the true Canadian ideas, which is red green. For those that know, red green is a staple of Canada. And I remember in one of his like words of wisdom type of thing, he said, "There's only 5 places you need to know when you get older," and it's true. There's only 5 places. Yeah. You heard about Philosophy Tube? What about Philosophy Tube? I heard that she went on some, or he went on some bullshit. Obviously, him being a tranny now and all that. Officially. But what else? I mean, there's all sorts of bullshit. Just the ultimate of just placating the audience. I mean that it's just entertainers. I mean, people like that and ContraPoints. These are entertainers. These are not people who are going to change the system. They're just talkers at this point. Yeah. Oh yeah. No. I saw it. Oh yeah. Full blown woman. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's cringe. It is very cringe. I can't begin to care. I really can't. Yep, I see it as LARP. Oh, I absolutely do too. I do. It is absolute LARP. Hold on, let me blow my nose. I sound very stuffed up, don't I? But it's wild to see. It is absolutely wild to see what's gone on with him. I'm not going to give into that. I'm not going to, I'm just going to say him and just call it like it is. I don't care how much testosterone you've taken, First restaurant to consistently offer clean restrooms. Oh, boy. Sorry, I was looking at the McDonald's wiki. Sinopec. Oh, wow. Oh, man. Yeah. Just got back into political white tea. Oh, yeah. To his country. Yeah, Contra put in an asylum and their wealth distributed to the people. Oh, yeah, absolutely. The Twitch leaks that have occurred, yeah, that's going to hurt a lot of people. Yeah, when people find out that Pokimane is making like $38,000 a year, people are like, what? Even Pokimane is making that much money? And of course people are like, well, the ultimate goal of socialism should be to make as much money as possible. It's like, what? I don't know. It's very easy to see, but yeah, the political YouTube shit is a mess. I've avoided much of it. I kind of keep my feelers out for what's going on, but ultimately it's something that I don't want to look at anymore. I think it's $38K a month. Oh, okay. Oh, $38K a month. Oh, shit. Well, holy shit. Pokimane getting money. I'll be like, girl, why don't you come in here and pay for my loans? That's what I'd say. All you have to do is pay 1 month. That 1 month you get in Twitch donations and shit, girl, you could pay off my loans. I'll give you, I don't know. I was going to say something nasty, but I'll just say, I'll say something like, I'll install a new AC for you or something like that, Yeah, simp bucks, exactly. Oh, yeah. Ooh, woo, my simp bucks. Yeah, I mean, look at me, make my funny things. You could see my, my funny room and shit. Oh, yeah. Exactly. But yeah, the political YouTube shit, it's ridiculous. Yeah, red pill us on race mixing with Asians. Oh, man. I would say don't do it. I would say don't do it for the simple reason that I made a video a while back when this occurred, when it first occurred, but Derek Chauvin, Tristan won't shut up. Planet Comic Works, just ask Walmart. I saw that video. I did. I don't really care about that Tristan guy, you know, that Tristan won't shut up guy. I really don't care. Like I said, I don't have the patience for it anymore. I don't have it. I have just enough patience to listen to some of Vosh's bullshit and some of Bo the Fifth Collins bullshit, but it's like, yeah. I mean, the thing is with Derek Chauvin, I'll say this. Derek Chauvin is another one of these white dudes that was married on jelking. Oh, boy. If you want to do that to your penis, go for it. I'll put it that way to you. If you want to do it, go for it. If you want to jelk, go for it. But that sounds very painful.
I do.
I'll let him in.
You guys are crazy.
Yes, they are. Yeah, he's still, yep, he does. Oh. I guess he's going to do that. Okay. Well, I'm going to continue on for probably about 9 more minutes, and then I'll wrap it up. But, yeah, like I say, the YouTube stuff, I was going to say Derek Chauvin was married to an Asian woman. And once all this shit started to happen, she dropped him like a hot potato. So I feel bad for Derek Chauvin. I do. He got a raw deal. Not just because he's white and all this other stuff, but just because I think it's a bad deal. You know? People are going to be waiting. Speaking of that, Kyle Rittenhouse, the trial is still ongoing. Can you make it, Pooter? Can you do it?
Here we go. Got one. One more. Come on.
Hold on.
Come on.
I'm going to have some meowing and stuff, so just give us a moment.
It's nice out there right now.
Oh, yeah.
The crickets are chirping.
Mhm.
Weather's ideal. Maybe I'll bring some milk to you about that.
Come on, Pooter.
Come on, Gee.
You can do it, buddy.
Come on, Gee.
He can do it. He's just... Oh, boy. But, yeah. The Kyle Rittenhouse case, I was going to say, nobody, like I say, nobody realistically would be defending the 2 people that he shot. Let's be realistic, can we? He's not nobody is defending the people that he shot. They'll be like, well, the people that he shot, it's like that one guy who's just like, shoot me, nigga. Shoot me, nigga. And, of course, what happens? Of course, we see the footage of him sitting there shot in the head, and he's shaking. Oh, what did we do? What did we do? Oh. And the other guy, actually, no, there are 2 people he killed, and one person he shot his fingers off. The other person, who was hitting him with a skateboard, hitting the guy with a they're hitting Rittenhouse with a skateboard. Like I say, here's the biggest difference, though. Criticize him as much as you want to, but it's like you can't realistically take the side of those people who were killed. The one guy who's like, shoot me, nigga. The one that went to jail was accused, I think it was pedophilia. The other guy who was a wife beater, the one that was hitting him with a skateboard and all this, shot him dead. And then the other guy who was like, don't shoot, and he had a gun in his hand, and Rittenhouse shot his hand. And then, of course, the other people that were shooting at him, and of course, people will always be like, oh, well, Kyle Rittenhouse is an evil fascist. He shouldn't have traveled, over these states and whatnot. Well, he felt the urge to. I'm not going to sit here and defend everything about it, but he felt. And, of course, people will say, oh, well, they shouldn't have come and defended this, But the fact is, though, to a point, what Kyle Rittenhouse did, I'm going to argue, is going to be kind of the future of the United States. Because you're going to see the police continue to be villainized. And like I say, feel as you want to. I'm not going to sit here and, be like, we love our cops, our law enforcement. No, I don't. But the thing is, though, that the police are going to continue to be villainized. They're going to be, we've already seen the arrest of the that New York City Police Union's leader. We've seen him. Yeah. Remember the black police chief that got killed at Best Buy? Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Nobody said a word about that. And you're going to have more Kyle Rittenhouses who are going to be out there defending things, whether you want them to or not. And you're going to have more of that come about, yeah. Chauvin Assange and bring Snowden home. Yeah. I was going to say with Snowden, I mean, he's already made his bed. So, like I say, it's a very complex world out there. It's a very weird place that we're in. And I hate to just keep repeating myself, but it's kind of like we're just kind of just riding the wave, aren't we? We're just riding the wave, man. We're just seeing where this thing takes us. We're just on this roller coaster called life, just kind of seeing where it takes us. And we just hope that somebody can, some political group can pull the stop and at least get us back to the start, And you stream from another. I'm thinking of more questions to ask you. Okay. All right. I guess I can do that. But yeah, I mean, we're at this point where it's just like, things are really up in the air. There's a lot of weariness out there. There's a lot of anger out there, but it's like not many people really have any explanations about how to solve it. And I'm basically repeating myself from what I said earlier, but it's just like, where are we going? What is this America that we speak of now? What is it? What does it represent? Does it represent the people? Does it represent anything? I mean, that's my take on it anyway. It's all just so tiring, isn't it? It's all so tiring. We see all this happening, and nobody really has the cojones to do anything. And more to the point, even past the cojones, I think. But I take that back. People have the cojones, but they don't have the support. They don't have the organization to back them up. There's a lot of folks who will talk shit, but really don't have anything else, Yeah, let's see here. Can you Red Bull us on Americans possibly immigrating to other countries if it gets that bad? Most Americans have ancestors who left their homelands coming for a better life. Who would let us goblins in? Unless you have genuine skills, whether it's in electronics or in like economics or some big thing that's international, I don't know who would. I really don't. Like I say, I mean, you could try. I mean, you could give into the meme that Jason Unruh was talking about and go to a European country, but I really don't think that they want us. They're going to say, no, you're not European, you're an American. We Amerimuts got to stay together. Yeah, no, I unironically agree. We should. We should, because nobody wants us. I don't think. Apart from, I think that they're just tired of Americans. I think they see Americans as a disease. And to a point, they are correct. I think whether it's Italians, whether it's the Brits, whether it's whomever, they just see us as extremists. They see us as, the legacy of the Calvinists. They see, obviously, I know people like Haas talk about that a lot, but yeah, China looks like the 1950s America and we're their servant class. That's potentially what could happen. It's potential. That's a potential world. I mean, that's my opinion. Like I say, people are going to do what they're going to do. I've always repeated that. People are going to do what they're going to do. I don't control you, but just be aware that, you don't have the same type of rights that you do here. Unless you have a lot of, experience in some field that's international that they don't have anywhere else, what good are you? Like I say, cringe or red bold, flying the flag. I'm gonna give kind of a two-part answer to this. I think in some ways to protect yourself, it is a good thing. So you can give lip service to the system. But I'd also say it's cringe because ultimately that flag does not represent you. I would say realize that it's keeping the black community down. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Wink, wink. Yeah. But I would say flying the flag to protect yourself can potentially be a good thing, but realize, at least in my opinion, that it doesn't represent you. That flag does not represent you. It does not represent your history. You are more of a, you would be more inclined to, have a flag or something else. But that's my opinion. That's my opinion on it. You can go ahead and feel as you want to about it and say that it's cringe, say that, but that's how I feel. I just don't like, in general, I think the whole waving flags stuff, it's meaningless today. If you want to be a true revolutionary or whatever, this isn't the 20th century. You have to be as anonymous as you can. You cannot, wave around flags thinking that you're, if people learn nothing from Charlottesville, learn this is that, you have to agree on something and stick with that. But yeah. But yeah. That's how I feel about it. Like I said, people can feel as you want to, yeah. Americans, when you take sugar away from them. Hold on. Yeah. I, someone with heavy food sensory issues here. Frosted mini wheats are one of the only things I can actually consume regularly and not get sick from. Guilting people who can't support boycotts is ableist as fuck, but y'all aren't ready for that conversation. Oh my gosh. Oh Lord have mercy. Oh man. Anyways, y'all know what this means. Don't buy any Kellogg products. Stand in solidarity with Kellogg's workers. Don't cross the picket line. Holy shit. Oh, Americans. Goddamn Americans. Frosted mini wheats. Look, I like frosted mini wheats too, but holy shit, man. Give it up. Go for hold on. Quaker Oats. That's done by, it's done by a different company. Yeah. Oh man, you gotta love America. Yeah, rugged individualism with left-wing aesthetics equals. Yeah, it sucks that workers are getting screwed, but I'm too special and different to help. Sadly. Oh god. Disabled people will use services like this because they cannot prep their own food. Blanket statements of. See, this is the whole thing with intersectionality, isn't it? When they talk about that. Hello, who are you? I have identity consumerism. Yeah, I'm just some random person at this point. Some Twitter baby with made up gluten allergy. Yeah, exactly. When they talk about ableism and they talk about intersectionality, it's like you will never be able to deal with all the different realities of what of intersectionality. It's like there's no way you could deal with all those different threats. There's no way. There's no way you could interact with all those. There's no. It's impossible, in my opinion, to deal with all those issues. Yeah, places the burden on those that can't afford to carry it. Yeah. Person who is unable to go to the store because of a disability would be better served by something like Instacart. Yeah. Oh, Americans. It's funny. Americans are a different type. Americans are a different breed. That's bad for me somehow. Oh, Jordan Uhl. Oh, man. I've seen this Jordan Uhl in real life. I remember I saw him on like a live stream. I'm like, this dude. Holy shit, bruh. I'm like, that dude is hilarious, man. Just, yeah. Either it's bad for me somehow. Yeah, well. I mean, the thing is, man, it just goes to show just how ridiculous this country is. Slayer into forearms before, yeah. Like I say, you get all these edgy folks. It's another reason that why the United States will not end the way that people think it will, because it's like we really don't have any real. I mean, you could blame rugged individualism, absolutely, yeah. You could blame rugged individualism immensely, But yeah. Yeah, apparently a tanker at Marathon Refinery in Texas is leaking oil. Oh, man. It is huge and just, ugh. Yeah. Crude oil leak at Marathon Petroleum Refinery in Texas City. Yeah, Texas City, yeah. Semantics, yeah. Consumers will still be paying for the oil industry failure. Texas GOP doesn't regulate, and we always... See, the thing is, wind turbines because they kill birds. Just remember scenes like this. What? They actually do kill birds, yeah. Like cats are the biggest threat to birds. The arrival from Europe, hunted thousands of native bird species to extinction. Outdoor cats kill an estimated 2.4 billion birds per year. Keep your cats indoors if you live on a farm and need an animal for pest control. Get a native barn owl. How does that get one? Yeah, get a native barn owl. You don't have a reason for needing one. Yeah. Yeah. FYI, spills are bad, but the odds this impacts anything outside the tank's farm are slim to none. Those tanks are engineered, regulated containment per SPC. Yeah. But yeah. Solar and wind power don't do this. See, the thing is, I mean, look, it's a sad thing, but yeah. R.I.P. Gaddafi. Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah. I watched Gaddafi killing vid yesterday. Yeah. I don't blame you. Yeah. Blame racist Anglo-imperial multiculturalism. Right now, it is 8 p.m. It is 8 p.m. right now, at least where I'm at, in the United States. So I don't deny it's awful. I really don't. It is awful. But we'll see where it takes us, I guess. I mean, it's just going to continue to get bad. People can shout about it, but it's like, what are they doing? Nothing. It's just basically to own us and to say, haha, I got you. But yeah. Entirely necessary. Yeah, it's not only good, but entirely necessary. Oh, yeah, exactly. Vietnam could have evolved into a less deadly conflict, less expansion of entitlements, moderated civil rights. Yeah. Lasted longer? Yeah. I don't know. It's hard to think about, isn't it? It's hard to really. I'm in Sweden. Oh, okay. 9:18 p.m. for me. East Coast of the U.S. Yeah. Falling rate of profit and hyperinflation will take care of it. Oh, yeah. Yep. It's true. It is true. I don't know. I think that's kind of the feeling of a lot of Americans, though. It's just like we see all this. People feel angry, but it's like, well, what do you do from it? Because like you realize it's like, yeah, people buy oil, so you're part of the issue, but it's also like, well, what do we do? You're at people's mercy. You know, you're at the company's mercy. You know. You know, I mean that's my opinion anyway. It's like you're at all these things mercy, and nobody's willing to break off from it. You know, and we see all these folks who try to pretend like they're going to do something, but it's like they don't. You know, I'm kind of out of steam, folks. I think I was out of steam like a while ago. I do not have a TikTok. No, I do not. I don't mess with TikTok. That's my opinion anyway. I'll see the funny ones, and I've posted a couple on my YouTube here. But no, I do not have a TikTok. I am too old to be on TikTok. I am almost 40. I am far too old to be on TikTok. Far, far too old. But it is awful to see what's occurring in Texas City as well with the leaks. I mean, people just think, oh wow, well if we just got solar and wind, then it'd be so great, bro. And it's just there's a lot of simplistic attitudes towards it. It's like the thing is though is that you have to have a military police force who's willing to enforce all that, and you have to have a huge labor force to start taking all those things down. So you can't just jump from, oil and all that, then just jump immediately into, wind and solar. You have to have some sort of plan to do that. And most people just don't. I mean, that's my opinion anyway, especially when talking about oil. I don't know, maybe that sounds like a lib point, but it's like you have to be realistic. You can't just jump from one thing to the other and just expect it. But of course, the thing is that you're just like, oh, we hate conservatives and we hate the vaccine, the anti-vaxxers and shit like that. It's like you realize that you have to at least give lip service to those people, especially the ones that work on oil rigs and shit like that, who are fairly conservative people. Yeah, you're gonna have to work with them. The people that work at Marathon, Marathon Oil, those guys are fairly conservative. You have to at least give them lip service, but people don't really think about that. They don't care. They just want to LARP and they want a virtue signal to people. And ultimately, they won't make a difference in anything. That doesn't mean I love conservatives. And that doesn't mean I love Republicans. No. It just means you have to give some sort of lip service to these issues. You know what I mean? That's my view anyway. It's a very ridiculous thing. I don't know. It's a very weird feeling, I guess. When you realize that yeah, what the fuck, you gotta keep in touch with reality. Yeah, CNN doesn't cover CIA plan to assassinate Julian Assange. Yeah, straight up from a Hollywood movie. Yeah, people's feelings are always legit. You can't force feelings away on people. Yeah, the thing with ML is that you give people a way to understand their already existing sense. Yeah, there's some truth to that. There's some truth to that. But you have a big split, obviously, you know, between the MLs who want to try to keep things as they were, and then you have like the MLs who want to go towards like Maoism and shit like that, who are like, yeah, bro, support my third world and shit. It's just, yeah. I don't know. The cat is crying for some reason. Oh, great. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hold on. The cat is just going wild again. He just wants to go out there so bad, and the cat's just pissed off at him. It's just, oh, yeah. Maoists, they don't understand. Yeah. Okay. Have a good night. Have a good night. I'm fitting to wrap this up. Even though I said that like 20 minutes ago. I think I'll wrap it up. But yeah, hopefully y'all enjoyed all this. Hold on. Hey, I think I'll just wrap it up here. Hopefully y'all enjoyed. Oh, so I'll go ahead and wrap this up. But yeah, hopefully y'all enjoyed this. So yeah, see you later. Goodbye.